Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us here at Lobe Sciences channel. We're sitting here once again with Phil, and Phil, the YouTube is starting to get some responses and some comments in. I was wondering if today we could dive into some of those.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Perfect. So this one here, and there's multiple parts to this, and Stephen, I would like to address all these, but some of it we can't address publicly. So we'll answer what we can from this, but this is from Stephen LaCroix Clave. Hopefully I pronounced your name right, Stephen. But first and foremost, Phil, when are clinical trials?
Sure, I'm glad to answer that. We plan on initiating our first studies in healthy volunteers and patients the second half of this year, with the goal being identifying our target pharmaceutical dose, a non-psychedelic inducing dose of psilocybin or one of psilocybin's derivatives, and move that forward in PTSD patients. So we should have data late this year, early next year.
Wonderful. We'll stay tuned for that, everybody. And up next is, what is the 5-year vision of Lobe Sciences?
Sure. Well, we can't run until we walk, and walking is what we're going to be doing this year. Is developing the initial safety data with our patent pending combination using NAC and acetylcysteine. Once we generate the data, we will then, assuming everything's positive, and we believe it will be, we'll file an IND with the FDA and move into a phase 2 study next year. The phase 2 data, we believe, should be able to confirm the efficacy of our patent-pending combination of drug therapeutics with psilocybin and NAC, and in PTSD, and maybe into traumatic brain injury as well in 2023, second half of the year. That data should then lead us into pivotal programs. So we would be able to continue to update the market on the success of the data. And of course, as we move forward, we're going to be catching the eye of big pharma. They're more than happy to watch us do the development, but when we start generating data from phase 2 studies, I think that that'll be a very interesting time for the company.
Agreed. And there was the answer. This next question was somewhat answered in that, but he's asking, how can you bring some revenues to the company?
Sure. Right now, we're not revenue producing because we're in a drug development stage of where we are. Obviously, significant revenues would come if we finish the phase 3 process and received regulatory approval around the globe. So I think as we sit here today, the opportunity is immense. The areas we're focused on, there are no approved clinical therapeutic treatments, and proving our drugs are the proper way to do it and deliver the patient benefits we believe we can do. It'll be significant value inflection points along the way for the investors.
Perfect. And the next question Stephen had here, more of a statement, really. He was talking about how we could be more using modern technology to help get the message out there. Well, Stephen, this is exactly why we are here doing this today. And that's why I'm so happy you asked this question. We'll be pushing out lots of videos like this, updating you guys as many ways as we can, and answering the questions that you and probably lots of people like you who don't leave the question have as well. So we will be doing that. We will be getting more videos like that out there and reaching out to the community. And if you know anybody who's invested or involved with Lobe Sciences that needs answers, send them this way. We will happily answer their questions for them. But last but not least, Phil, before we get too deep into it, they have questions like about the roadmap and how that might change over time as well.
Well, the roadmap is very straightforward from the clinical development point of view. We'll take our pharmaceutical products, put them into the clinic in our target patient population, and assuming the data turns out positive, we'll continue down that path. Starting next year, we're going to begin exploring new indications, not just looking at traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder, but we'll be moving into several new exciting indications where, again, there are no good therapeutic options for patients. And I think it's going to be an exciting time as we are able to announce that.
Perfect. Well, that's all the questions we have for today. Phil, is there anything else you want to add for people before we go?
No, I love this opportunity to communicate. I love the podcast style, and please, people, send questions in, and I'm happy to answer them.
Perfect. Well, Phil, thank you so much for your time today. Stephen, thank you for sending in your questions. Everybody, don't be afraid to send in more and stay tuned for answers. Have a wonderful day, Phil.